my senior year, my parents sent me to a lockdown in Utah.
For real?
Yeah. So I was there for 13 months. Yeah.
Wait.
So both me and OJ got sent away.
Oh, your parents. Oh, you really got sent to a lockdown.
Yeah. It's one of those, the term is like therapeutic boarding school, but I hate that they call it a boarding school because when you say boarding school, it sounds like Harry Potter and like a good time. But
I thought you got sent to your room.
Oh, I did get sent to my room, but I also got sent to a lockdown my senior year of high school.
Wait, what were you doing?
Sneaking out of the house, not getting good grades, and they were just concerned that I was going down a path. I wasn't even drinking or smoking. I was not doing well. And that scared them as, people who work in the fields that they work in.
So how did that go? Like, how did it start? How did it go
down? So I snuck
out of caught once.
It did what?
Did you get?
Yeah. So I had been sneaking out of the house for years. I had just finally gotten caught, but I was at a point where I was like, I wanted to get caught because I was just not in a good place, and I felt like, I felt like my mental health was deteriorating and I was just going down a path, and my parents were dealing with other shit at the time, running a campaign, so I was at a point where I didn't care if I got caught, and I did get caught. My parents took me out of school and then found a place to send me in Utah. So.
And wait, how bad was that? Was that a knockdown, drag out fight?
It was, no, because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know the type of place that I would be going. So in my mind, I heard like boarding school and I thought, oh, okay, well, I'll at least be away from my parents and, maybe it'll be better for me. But I didn't realize like the environment I was going into, the people I was going to be around. And like I was, there's kids there with serious issue, like I had it, we all have issues, but like they had seen some shit. They had, done drugs at 13 and addicted to, just horrible things, like horrible.
Wait, when you got there, did you go, at what point did you stop blaming your parents?
Oh, well, I never really blamed. I don't think I blamed them for not realizing where they sent me, kind of. Like for a while, I don't think they understood like the type of place they were sending me to.
Have you talked to them since about that?
Yeah. We were obviously, we've worked through it, and they even mentioned now like that in retrospect, I probably didn't belong there. I don't think any kid really does, but because I just don't think that that's the right answer for kids who are going through problem, is to send them off for other kids to essentially, because the people who were in charge of us weren't much older than us.
Really?
And they were all Mormon. And so, it was like Paris Hilton got sent to a school right up the road from where I went, and she's working, trying to get them all like shut down because there's a lot of like horrible things that happen at these facilities.
So wait, did you, when you got there?
When I got there, I didn't realize until after my parents dropped me off. Now, some kids get like basically kidnapped in the middle of the night by like escorts will come in. Like your parents can either drop you off or they can have like two big security dudes come in and take you out of your bed at night and then take you to the place. Or I heard I knew a kid whose parents had lied to them and told them that they were going on a ski trip to Utah and then dropped them off at this school. So
holy shit.
Yeah. So
Adam Egget had something similar to happen to him.
think he went somewhere else. Like I don't think his was in Utah, but there's a lot of my generation and a lot of kids who have gone through this school system, and it's not like, in my opinion, the best place for kids.
And so they drop you off, and then at what point do you realize I need to like hey guys, I'm gonna leave, and they're like, you're not going fucking anywhere.
It was right away, pretty much. As soon as your parents leave, you're not allowed to have shoes. You have to earn shoes. You can't call anyone. You have to earn phone calls. You have to get to a certain point in your program where you earn any kind of communication. Like if you write letters, they read all your letters out. They read all the letters sent to you. You're only allowed to communicate with pre-approved people. You have no access to phone. There's no internet. You basically have to work the program. until.
So wait, you get there and they take your shoes away?
Yeah, you're not allowed to have shoes. You're not allowed outside because they have evaluations, I think, every 2 weeks to see if you're moving up in the program or if they're going to keep you where you are. So
Do you
have
cheat
to earn,
or do you have to do it?
You can't not cheat. You like, because you're always being watched. So like you have to do everything they say. So and if you don't, you get a consequence, and consequences are either a half hour of calisthenics, a half hour, which is intense working out, a half hour of homework, or a half hour of cleaning the bathrooms. So
do you get to pick?
You sometimes get to pick. One time I got 100 consequences. Yeah, I had to work off 100. It took me a couple weeks.
Wait,
I got because so my parents came to visit me, and I used my sister's cell phone to check my voicemails because a lot of my friends didn't know what happened to me because I just disappeared from school one day. And so I was like, I wonder if anyone's worried or if anyone's wondering about me. So I used my sister's cell phone to check my voicemail, and she caught me and narked on me to my parents.
Your sister caught you?
Yeah. And
younger sister or older sister?
Yeah, a younger sister. She narked on me. So I ended up, she told my parents, my parents told the school that I like broke a rule on, a family visit, and they gave me 100 consequences.
And so what, did you just get in great shape? Or
I was like, I'm just going to do like homework. I didn't want to clean the bathrooms because you had to clean out the tampon boxes. And it's like, that is disgusing to me. I'd rather eat sushi off of Zach's asshole than fucking clean a tampon box. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, that's very much a place where you have to like kind of fake it till you make it. Like do whatever you can to just get out because no one's coming to get you.
And so wait, how do you get out? Do you just graduate?
You have to graduate the program. You have to graduate the program.
Is it 18 months?
Mine was I was there for so I turned 18 there. I went there when I was 17. And in Utah, if you turn 18 at one of these schools, you have to sign your rights away to the school saying that you won't leave. Like you can turn 18 and you can leave, but they'll be like, you're going to be homeless. Your family's not going to come get you. And they encourage your family not to talk to you. Or you can sign your rights away at 18, which is what I did because they convinced me that if I didn't do that, no one, like I would be homeless. So I signed my rights away saying that I will stay until I graduate the program. So I was there until I graduated.
So you're going to school, right?
So I mean, yeah, they have a school, but it's very it's such a joke. They rip out chapters of a book, and you have to read the chapter and then take a test at the end. And if you don't get at least an 80% or above, you have to keep taking the test. So that's how they boast that they get these good grades at this school, because you have to keep taking the test until you pass it. So
what are the rooms like?
So the place I went to was an abandoned church. It used to be a church that got converted over
like a tabernacle.
Yeah, like some kind. Like if you look at the building, it's really haunting.
Wait, can you tell? You don't have to tell the name of the place on here if you don't want to. But can we look it up?
Yeah, I mean it's called. It's still open. If you go to if you read their Yelp reviews, they're not really that great. But look up Google Images.
Let him know if you want that name edited out.
You might want it. So the room situation, you're in a room with like 16 girls. Like they're all bunk beds. So it's like, it's sectioned off, and there's.
This is crazy. My brain is so broken. I'm assuming they're all hot with attitudes.
Yeah, probably. Most of us at least. So yeah, it was a co-ed school, but they kept us separate.
You never hung out with the boys?
Whenever we did, things would go wrong, so we would, they would kind of hold it over our head if we were allowed to do co-ed activities, which, we weren't really allowed. Or
was there any counselors who got it, who were like, hey, come on, was there any, like, because here's how this would work for me is I'd get there and I'd struggle and then I'd lie.
Mm-hmm.
I'd lie the entire 12 months. I'm not a big rule breaker, but I'm also someone who doesn't believe rules apply to them.
I have a hard time with rules.
I have a really hard time
with authority.
I The dumbest things, and especially if it's authority I don't believe.
Right.
If I don't believe in your authority, if you're a PA and you come back and you tell me, hey, why don't you hold tight? We're going to come back for you in 25 minutes. I go, I think I'm going to walk around.
Right.
I'm difficult in that sense.
Yeah. There wasn't, the mentors, I think they were just doing their job and
and they believed in what they were doing.
Yeah, for sure. But I think, I think it was, I had gotten to so my first 4 months I was there, I cried myself to sleep every night. Every night. I had a hard time accepting like my new reality. Cause it's very jarring. You're around a lot of girls who had gone through people who had gone through some unspeakable traumas and things that kids should never go through. And in turn, they ended up getting involved in really bad things. And, so it got to a point where I was like, okay, I just have to do whatever I have to do to get out of here. Cause otherwise I'm never going to get out of here, it seems. And there's the whole culture of like, if you get to a certain point in your program, like you're narking on other kids will make you look better, cause it's like, you're always trying to appear like you're better than,
Yeah.
So it was a weird place. And that's something that I would like to turn into some kind of thing.
Fucking fascinated.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated. And by the way, if you're not working on that this evening,
I am working
you're doing
on
yourself a disservice.
I am.
Sweet.
So
how did you get out?
I worked the program. I graduated, like you have to graduate the school part. So you have to finish all of the schooling and then you have to finish the program. So you have to get to a level 4. So when you go there, you're level 1, or you start like 1 minus 1, 1 plus, 2 minus 2, 2 plus. So you have to work through the program till you get to a 4. And again, like they evaluate you every 2 weeks, and oftentimes you can move down in your program, you can stay stagnant in your program, or you move up. So it could take, you could be a 4 and still have to be there for another 2 years because you haven't graduated the school part or whatever. So yeah, I graduated the program. I graduated school and I ended up applying for college and I got into colleges. So it was my time.
Do you have any fond memories?
I do have fond memories of, since it was in Utah, we got to, when we did get to go outside, we did a lot of things in nature, hiking.
Utah's gorgeous.
Whitewater rafting. So that was, but again, you had to earn all of that. And, that was something that I guess would be the fondest of my time is being outside.
Did you hook up with anyone while you were there?
I kissed someone. I kissed a boy. It was towards the end of my program. And if anyone would have found out, I would have gotten in so much trouble.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And so what, I'm dying to see how much this costs.
It's so expensive.
Who told your parents about it?
I don't know if they found it on the internet or if they were referred over. And I remember the headmaster, I mean, he drove a nice car, but then I'm like, that is not the food that they served us. I remember one time they served something that they called steak, and it was not steak. It was gray meat. It was so awful. Go to the Yelp reviews.
It's called tuition, Holston. It's not called cost. Yeah.
It's expensive, I bet.
So this is the Yelp reviews?
Oh, no. You have to go to the Yelp. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you go down, there should be like a bunch of 1-star reviews.
We'll keep going.
For that one's a fake one, and the one at the top.
Yeah, okay. If you don't want to take responsibility for your terrible parent, this is a great place to send your child. They focus on therapy will eventually help your child understand that your parenting was the issue, not them.
Oh, yeah. They place you in a white empty hole in the wall. So that's called ISU.
What? They put you in a what?
So if you get in trouble, they will isolate you. They'll kids will freak out because they will have violent kids.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, that's a real thing. Is that a kid in the hole?
That looks like an ISU. Yeah, these are all probably stories of either former kids or
Oh, this is all former students.
yeah, or parents who figured out that it's probably not. The sad thing is a lot of the people I went to school there with either ended up back in prison or died, suicide or aren't really doing anything with themselves. So I don't know if these schools work.
I mean,
unless
these
they want to use me as the poster child.
I mean, no, I mean, you kind of killed it.
Um,
If you can't beat children, you worthless crap.
Oh wow, a mentor's coming here saying don't send.
Who's a mentor? Where? I used to work here as
Sammy.
a mentor for 2 years, and I don't recommend sending your kids here. I could go on and on about this place and how badly it is run, how negatively it impact the kids after they're being here. The only reason I stayed as long because I cared for the kids, and I want to do whatever I could to bring positivity into their life while at the ... But please don't send your kids here. They will suck you dry of money and leave your kid more traumatized
I was
than
so
before.
traumatized after.
For real?
I had nightmares for years where I was like, my nails were like, I'm like, people are dragging me at my feet. My nails are just like clawing the floor.
Did you have physical activities where you had to fight people and stuff?
I never got into fights. I did end up in ISU one time because I didn't want to do my math homework. And they were I was taking medication at the time for bipolar disorder because they thought I had bipolar. And they were like, we don't think you have bipolar, so we're going to take you off the medication. And I had a bad reaction. And
you can't do that.
Well, they tapered me off of it,
Yeah.
like in what they thought was like a healthy way. But my teacher wanted me to do my math homework, and I was like, no, fuck that. And then it just caused a whole big fight, and they took me to ISU, the isolation unit.
You have to.
And they would tranquilize kids. Like I didn't get tranquilized because of, like in the ISU, but that place is wild.
$7,000 a year? That can't be what it is.
Oh, maybe it wasn't that expensive.
Maybe this is a different one. No, I guarantee you there is. Well, I guarantee you what tuition is.
It's crazy because I don't know what the tuition
boarding
went to.
versus meals.
Yeah.
Versus there's going to be a lot of add-ons. It's not $7,000 a year.
So that was where I spent my senior year of high school. And so I'm putting that out there that I'm going to turn it into something.
That's genius.
Yeah.
That's genius. And that Paris Hilton went to one of these?
She went to one called Provo Academy, same town that
really?
I went in. But it was a couple years, I think, before me. I think
who sent her there?
Her parents. And she's now actively fighting, going to like Congress and telling them these places need to be shut down. You're sending kids away. They're being abused. And why isn't anyone doing anything about it?
The one that Adam Egan, have you talked to Adam about his?
No.
His was like, it was fucking, I'll tell you what, it sounded worse than Nick Thune's rehab.
Yeah.
And Nick Thune's rehab sounded rough.
Did he have to go to Wilderness? Is that why? Adam.
No, I don't know. I don't know where Adam went. I don't know the name of it. But Nick Thune's was rehab. He was detoxing. He was detoxing. So he was not doing well.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that's a nightmare. And then hearing Adam Egan's story and going, no, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's a legit fucking nightmare.
Yeah. It's, we would get, so a lot of these schools are attached to a wilderness program. So the kids will be sent away to the wilderness. And then after they graduate the wilderness program, they go into these residential programs.
Yeah.
And a lot of these wilderness programs should also be shut down because they're in the middle of Utah, in the middle of winter, having kids march all day, all night outside, build their tents, sleep outside. I almost
sent my daughter to one of these, both of my daughters, because I wanted them to have, I used to hear stories about.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Which it's
like Scared Straight.
It sounds awesome. By the way, you can edit that out as well. But I used to hear stories about it, thinking it sounded awesome, and then looking on the website and being like, "This looks great."
Yeah.
And then you hear horror stories, and you're like, "Wait, hold on, what the fuck?" Like
we would have there was this girl one time. She had to leave the wilderness program early because she got frostbite on her feet.
What the fuck?
And then another girl ended wilderness early because she got giardia, which is from drinking dirty water, a parasite. So yeah, these are not, in my opinion, the best programs for our youth.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How hard was it to forgive your sister when she snitched on you?
Oh man. It took a while. It took, I think she would, I just had come to terms with she was young and she was just doing what my parents wanted her, what she felt like was the right thing.
Yeah.
Cause she was just a little kid, but she was so stoked to narc on me.
God.
But yeah.
I would love to see whatever that project is.
Well, we'll see what happens with it. But it's taken me a while because it's so triggering. It's such a triggering process.
I can see you still have a little bit of apprehension talking about it.
Yeah.
Because there's a part of you that goes, am I going to get in trouble for this?
Well, I think that since it's still open, the facility is very much still open, running, accepting kids. It's just a part of my life where I'm still uncomfortable with it and still processing like what was that place.